Good morning, folks. Glad you could all make it this afternoon, especially after Sarah's very interesting talk earlier on about the mental health issues affecting many students that we teach. Just to let you know who I am, for those people who don't know me, my name is Christopher Platt. I'm a teacher at an online learning school and in a pupil referral unit, and I have been doing that for some 16 odd years now, teaching IT and computer science. I'm also a CEOP ambassador, which is an online safety organisation that looks after the welfare of students and young people. And it's with that hat on today I'll be giving this talk on online safety. Can I just check that most of you in this room are sort of teachers or in the education department? Yes? I just have a show of hands, just have a quick check to see we're all here. Okay, if I just pan over for a second. Okay, you can see we've got people in the room here. That's great. Okay, so I'm just going to move that over and hopefully we'll catch that. Okay. Right, if we can just quickly get the housekeeping considerations out of the way. If there is any fire here, there's no fire drill, so if the alarms do go off, and we can just make our way out through the fire exits, which are out this door, take a right and right again on the car park, so that's the fire exit. Toilets, I believe, are down the corridor, right at the end. I think you need one of these tags to let yourself in. If you want a tag to sort of do the electronic stuff on the door, please let us know. Everybody comfortable, nobody's too hot, too cold. Everybody's comfy in their chairs, no squeaky tables or desks or anything like that. Great. There will be handouts given out at the end, so you don't need to write copiously. As I said, I will be giving handouts at the end, which will explain a lot of what we talk about in this lesson in a bit more detail. Everybody see me okay, yeah? You can hear me okay, I hope. You can see the screen okay? Yeah, you can hear me? Great, that's fine. As we're going through the presentation, folks, there's no such thing as a silly question, okay? A lot of this stuff perhaps will be new to you, so please feel free to put your hand up and ask a question if you need to seek further clarification or anything. Okay, so that's the housekeeping out of the way. Titled presentation, as I said earlier, was the top 10 online dangers for students. Okay, the students that we teach. Most of them are teenagers. I think we teach the older age group. And an overview, that's the important, here's my pointer. Okay, that's the crucial word here, because I'll be giving a sort of 30,000 foot view of the main online dangers that are happening at the moment out in the internet in cyberspace. Okay, I won't be drilling down into too much detail into each of them, because that would take me more than the length of this presentation. Okay, maybe at a future time we could look at a few specifics in more detail. So, our objectives: increased awareness. So you know what's out there. You've got an idea. If you come across some of the characteristics of one of these online dangers, you can recognise it. And hopefully, objective number 2, you have some strategies and recommendations on how to deal with some of these online dangers. By the way, we generally say online dangers nowadays, rather than e-safety. That seems to be the term that's been degraded. We're going to online safety. And hopefully we'll stimulate debate with some of the online issues we come across in this presentation. Okay, so those are 3 objectives. Hopefully it makes sense. Right, before we start, who here has had at least one student that has complained of some form of online experience that has made them feel either threatened or uncomfortable? Can we just have a show of hands? Okay, so everybody in the room. Yeah, I think we've, at some stage over our years working in this education business, we come across at least, well, quite a few students in that condition. So, as a little exercise, folks, hopefully you've got a pen. I've got pens and papers here if you need them. Could you just simply, or quickly, just jot down what you consider your personal top 3 online dangers for students? Number 1 being the most dangerous, number 2, perhaps the next most dangerous, and number 3, obviously, the one after that. Okay, so number 1, the most important or most dangerous online danger. Okay, so I can see you're all writing away. Terrific. Okay. Just as there's no right and wrong, folks, just as they come to your head, and it'd be interesting to see if they correspond with my top 3. Okay. Okay, some interesting ones coming through. All making clear? Right, I can see you just about finishing off now, folks. So, let's start the countdown, okay? As I said, this isn't definitive, this is my list, what is currently trending on online safety forums and on sites and on meetings I'm going to. These are sort of tend to be the top 10. Let's have a look at them. We talked about this, in fact, in our previous meeting with Sarah, okay? Parental ignorance or indifference, okay? I put that there. Maybe it's not strictly an online danger, but it certainly is a factor, because if we don't get our parents on board, and by parents, please, I'm sure you understand, the guardians, step-parents, anybody who's in charge of looking after children, if we can't then get them on board as well to take an interest in what their children or the charges are doing, our job is doubly hard to ensure that they're safe online. Okay, so we need, as a bottom criteria, is to have parents on board with us. What we could do perhaps to help this is to encourage them, and we see them, okay, advise them and encourage them to get online and make sure they're seeing what their children are doing, and perhaps we could issue some email newsletters of what are the current threats at the moment out on cyberspace. Okay, so that's number 10. Moving on. Most students that we see as teenagers nowadays have smartphones. In our day, perhaps it was laptops and PCs, but most of the students that we teach have their own smartphones, which, as we know only too well, it's hard to get them off them, okay? I'm not going to go through all the applications that these students have on their smartphones, but just to remind them, if they use these applications in their default settings, hackers know what these default settings are. So encourage them to change them. Okay, any passwords that come with applications, change the password. And one of my big bugbears is webcams. Okay, you'd be amazed how many people at home, students, have a laptop and they keep the camera uncovered. I recommend covering it with a bit of plastic and a bit of blue tack, just so those cameras aren't turned on automatically or remotely by hackers who know how to do this when they're just at home or whatever. Okay? And if they're not using a feature, turn it off, especially GPS. Okay? For most of our students, I don't think they really need to have GPS plotting on their phones. So again, we can encourage them to turn them off and let the parents know to tell them to turn it off as well. Okay? All making sense so far? Yeah. Yeah, are we happy with that? Yeah. Let me go going too fast, but we've got a fair bit to cover. Okay, so that was danger number 8. That was number 9. Number 8 now, weak passwords. That's not so specific just to students. I think we as adults as well are guilty of this every now and again. But make the passwords hard to guess, okay? And by that, I recommend at least 10 characters. Uppercase, lowercase letters in it, have numbers in it, have symbols in it. Yeah? Swap your A's for an @ sign. Swap your S's for a pound or something like that, so using symbols as well, and have no recognisable English words. Okay, I think we'll be guilty of maybe not following those recommendations, but it's good. I say no recognisable English words because there are lots of hacking software out there nowadays that brute forces passwords by just going through dictionaries. Okay, so you've got to tell them to make it non-recognisable English word, and for goodness sake, have different passwords for different accounts. That really does need to be hammered into them. If you use the same password for their Facebook account as they do for their other chat accounts, or even worse when they get into financial accounts, that is one of the biggest ways that hackers or people with nefarious intentions can get into other accounts by guessing one password. Different passwords but different accounts, please mind that. Moving on, online danger number 7, scams and malware. Okay, students tend to be a bit more trusting than us adults who sort of look at things and that's probably not the case, okay? If an offer is too good to be true, chances are it's too good to be true. So tell the students, don't believe that they're going to get £1,000 by subscribing to a website or even worse, giving their information of where they live, their full name, etc., etc. So tell them to question everything. Okay, especially in today's political climate with false news and whatever, they've got to question everything. because these scams are one of the easiest ways that people can get conned into revealing information and letting people know. Okay, so where possible, install antivirus and keep your operating system and browsers up to date. Okay, it makes it harder for malware, malicious software, to get into people's smartphones and computers and laptops. Okay, moving on. Social networking. Okay, we come across this all the time. I'm not going to go through all the list of social networking sites. I'm sure I've heard of Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, the list goes on. It's one of these things I think we're going to have to keep on saying to them all the time, be cautious of what they post online. It can be easily misinterpreted, some of the comments they do put in, okay? And under the one here, who they befriend, so again, tell them to be careful about who they do befriend, because you know, that's one of the things that people sort of get into their Facebook accounts. Addiction, okay? Facebook addiction is commonplace, as we've seen. People are constantly on their Facebook accounts. Encourage moderation, okay? Switch it off, give yourself some break from FaceTime is a good recommendation. And moving down to online date number 5. We talked about this earlier, actually, in the other talk that Sarah was giving. Inappropriate games. And I think games are games, isn't it? Well, no, they're not. Some of these games are particularly violent. I don't know if you've ever seen any of these. There's Grand Theft Auto is one that bugbears me. It's set for 18-year-olds, because some of the scenarios that are set in these games are quite horrendous and full of violence, okay? And I bumped into, I'm sure yourselves, youngsters as young as 12, 13 using these games, okay? Again, if we can let the parents know to keep an eye on what they're doing online and for how long. Yeah, say you can play a game up to about 9, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, then switch it off. Okay? So what type of games they're playing and for how long needs to be covered. Inappropriate websites. Again, something we touched upon before. We're coming down to online dating number 4 now. There are loads of them. The internet is like society. There's lots of good bits. I'm a strong believer in the internet. The benefits far outweigh the downsides, but there are some horrendous, mind-rotting sites. Racism, radicalisation, pornography, diet extremism, violence, suicide, self-harm, and many more, okay, which we've all bumped in. How can we deal with this with the students that encounter such websites? Again, we come back to parents again so often, don't we? You know, tell them to take an interest, just check what they're doing, and don't encourage late-night internet behaviour in the privacy of their bedroom, okay? We need to, you know, let students know that we care for them, or the parents care for them, and if this is still a question, turn the internet off at night. Encourage parents to pull the switch. What we've got to lose. Worth a try, anyway, I think. Okay, we're coming to the top 3. Okay, so let's see if any of these are on your list. At number 3, sexting. The inappropriate sending, receiving of sexually provocative images. Okay, we know what it is. How do we deal with it? For anybody doing this under the age of 18, it's illegal. Anybody appears to be under the age of 18, it's illegal in this country. It just reminds students of their digital footprint. Okay, these images could be out in cyberspace for potentially ever. Okay, so that's what they need to bear in mind. And their reputation is important. Okay, so tell them not to do it. And yeah, nobody who cares about them would ask them to do it anyway, would they? Okay, moving on. Number 2. Cyberbullying. Okay, people who send horrible comments by text usually to other people are known as cyberbullying. We must encourage students who are undertaking this to let people know. They've got to share this with us. And often we'll see a change in their character. They become more demure, more quiet. And this is often indicative of them experiencing some form of cyberbullying. Okay, it's a big one. Yeah, these bullies need to be confronted, they need to be stopped. But the complex thing about this is people who suffer cyberbullying have often been the bulliers themselves. Okay, it's often a two-way thing. They're trying to get their own back on somebody. Okay, so it's quite a complex thing sometimes. People who have been bullied are often the bullies as well. Something to bear in mind. Okay, number 1, the big one. Okay, I'm just going to be the same as what people hear about. I've gone for grooming and online predators, okay, which, again, we've had enough indications of this when we bumped into it. You know, we need to know what to look for. anybody who's trying to befriend a young person online with the intention of direct them usually into a sexually promiscuous situation. Okay, we know what it is. How do we deal with it? Again, tell the students, be careful what they do in chat rooms. Not everybody is who they say they are in chat rooms, okay? And never ever meet alone, in real life, any person you've met on the internet. Okay, it's common sense to us, but for youngsters, they tend to be a bit more adventurous, a bit more thrill-seeking. It's a bit of an adventure, but it's a dangerous path they're going down. Okay, so we need to let them know to exercise caution in chat rooms, because they could be sort of being set up. Okay, so that's the grooming and online presence. That's the number one for me. So, let's quickly recap. Number 10, parental ignorance and indifference. Encourage and educate them. Default applications and device settings. Check them, change them and switch off if they're not using them. Number 8, weak passwords. Strengthen them and variety. Got to be. Scams and malware. Use updates, so your software is up to date. Use antivirus where you can, and question everything. Question everything should be a mantra. Social networking. Just be careful what you reveal and do on it. Yeah, exercise caution here again. Inappropriate games. Get the parents involved where we can. Let's just check what they are doing online. Exercise caution. Inappropriate websites. Steer clear of them. They're mind-rotting. Tell the students there are other nicer things in life which are more exciting. Try and steer them away, so we're aware of that. Sexting, tell them not to do it. Think about their personal reputation when they get a bit older, when they go for jobs, etc., etc. Cyberbullying, don't do it, and report it if it is happening to that student. And grooming and online predators, tell others. Try and encourage them. They're not going to be chastised, but we're going to try and encourage them to reveal this information so we can deal with it. Okay. That's the top 10. So how many got the same number one choice as me? Hands up, please. Okay, let's just swing the camera around for a second just to see who did that. Okay, there's a few here. Okay, a few hands going up. Okay, let's put that back again. Okay, so a few people got that. How many of you got one of your choices in the top 3? Okay. How many of you got 2 of your choices in the top 3? Ooh, impressive. Oh, I'm impressed. 4. Oh, brilliant. Okay, 5 of you. How many of you got 3 of your choices in the top 3? Oh, yes. I'll change it. Well done. Okay, come on, let's be honest now. How many of you got none of your choices in the top 3? Oh, well done. So most of you got some of them in the top 3, which are nowadays regarded as the top 3 online dating. It's fantastic. Okay, so let's recap then. This presentation, we've been looking at the 10 top online dangers for our students, an overview. Okay, the main top contenders at the moment, we have an overview of what they look like. We can see what the characteristics. So we've got an increased awareness, I hope, of what the main ones are at the moment. Strategies and recommendations for dealing with them. We've got a rough idea, okay, we've got this situation, we've got a good idea how to cope with it as a starting point. And hopefully we've stimulated some thought process and debate on what is involved there. Okay, thank you folks. So, thank you. Any questions? No?
Can I ask one? This antivirus software,
yeah.
You can spend quite a lot on antivirus software. Are there 3 reputable ones that would be suitably protected?
Yes, there are. And the word you picked up there is reputable. I would go with some of the big organisations, the McAfee, Nortons, AVGs, ESETs. They all have free versions of them, which you can download and use. Yeah, they are free versions. AVG is quite a good one for a free version.
And do you get, by paying, do you get an awful lot more protection?
By paying, you have more features, like they will clear out your temporary files more often and things like that. So they have these extra little features on top, yeah. But AVG is a good one for free, and the other big companies do offer free versions as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, well thank you very much folks. I hope you found that interesting and informative. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.